Is the Ragnarok apocalypse starting with climate change? What if the end of the world isn't a sudden event, but a slow unraveling? What if Ragnarok isn't thunder and fire falling from the sky, but melting glaciers, burning forests, and oceans rising silently in the night? We like to imagine apocalypses as cinematic, explosions, monsters, chaos. But what if the real apocalypse is quiet, creeping, boring even? What if it's happening right now? In Norse mythology, Ragnarok was the twilight of the gods. A final battle, Odin, Thor, Loki, all falling in a blaze of cosmic glory. But there's something the old myths didn't tell us. Apocalypses can be metaphorical. They don't need swords or flames. Sometimes they start with a plastic bottle floating in the sea. Sometimes they begin with a temperature rising 1 fraction of a degree, and sometimes the battle isn't between gods, but between our habits and our future. The signs are here. Wildfires rage across continents. Droughts are no longer rare, they're seasonal. Storms that used to come once a century now knock on our doors every year. Still, we scroll, we post, we watch, detached, as if it's happening somewhere else, to someone else. But it's not. It's here. It's now. And we are part of it. In the old sagas, Ragnarok was inevitable. The gods knew it was coming. They tried to delay it, but fate was sealed. Are we writing our own saga now? Are we the new gods, too proud, too blind to change the script? There's a saying, history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. Maybe climate. Change is our version of the world's serpent, slowly coiling around our civilization, squeezing, waiting, but unlike the gods, we still have a choice. Here's a thought. What if this is our test? Not to defeat some monster, but to awaken, to rise, not as warriors, but as caretakers. Because Ragnarok isn't just a myth. It's a metaphor for collapse, and we are dangerously close. Now, before we move on, let me ask you something. Do you believe we can stop our own version of the apocalypse? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think humanity needs to change first? And if this reflection sparked something in you, consider subscribing. This journey is just beginning, and your voice matters. The Norse believed that Ragnarok was followed by rebirth, a new world rising from the ashes, green, peaceful, renewed. Maybe that's the part we've forgotten. We hear apocalypse and imagine the end. But the myth says it's also a beginning. Could climate change be the same? Not a punishment, not divine wrath, but a loud, painful wake-up call. Because here's the truth we don't like to face. We were warned, not by gods, but by scientists, activists, indigenous voices. For decades, we heard it, but we didn't listen. And now, the clock is ticking louder, the ice is melting, the soil is drying, the air is thickening. Species are vanishing, not in millions of years, but in our lifetime. Still, there is hope, but it doesn't look like a superhero. It looks like responsibility. It looks like innovation, policy, small, stubborn acts of change, and it starts with mindset. You see, the real enemy isn't the climate itself. It's denial, apathy, distraction. We've been sedated by convenience, addicted to growth, worshiping speed and profit like modern-day idols. But what if we chose a different path? What if we chose resilience over recklessness? What if we rebuilt, not in the image of power, but in the spirit of balance? Think of it this way. Every degree we avoid, every tree we protect, every habit we rethink, that's one less piece of the world serpent tightening its grip. That's one thread in the fabric of hope. And maybe, just maybe, the real gods of the new era won't be the loudest. They'll be the quiet innovators, the protectors, the storytellers who keep the memory of the earth alive. So let me ask you again, who do you want to be in this story? A bystander or a builder? Because Ragnarok, might be creeping in, but so is the chance to write the next chapter. And if this chapter means something to you, share this video. Let the myth awaken someone else. We're not alone in this, and that's our power. Drop A in the comments if you believe rebirth is possible, and tell us one change you've made that others could try. And if you're not subscribed yet, now's the time. We're building something here, thought by thought, voice by voice, together. Let's talk about endings and beginnings. In Norse mythology, Ragnarok wasn't just destruction, it was transformation. The gods fell, the world burned, but then a new world emerged. That's the part that matters now, because we're not just watching the earth suffer. We're participating in the unraveling, or the renewal, and that depends on what we choose next. You don't need to be Thor to wield power. Today, power looks like awareness, like education, like pressure, on leaders, on companies, on systems, that profit from short-term gain at long-term cost. Yes, the giants are real, fossil fuel giants, misinformation giants, political giants too afraid to act, but so are the rebels, the climate warriors, the scientists, the kids marching in the streets. This isn't mythology, it's history unfolding. And here's the strange, beautiful truth. You're in it. The question is, what role will you play? You can be the Loki of chaos, the Freyr of courage, or the Balder of light, the one who comes back when it seems like all is lost. Because even now, in this age of heat waves and hurricanes, there's momentum, solar panels replacing coal, regenerative farms healing the soil, communities rewilding forests, rethinking cities, rewiring the way we live. None of it is perfect, but all of it is something. We need less doom scrolling, more doing, less apathy, more awe. Look at the sky, not just for warning signs, but for wonder. Look at the water, not just rising, but reflecting who we've become. And if you've made it this far in the video, maybe you feel it too. That quiet pull, that mythic thread connecting you to something bigger. This isn't about guilt, it's about greatness. The greatness of small actions repeated, of voices raised together, of generations choosing differently. So let's rewrite Ragnarok. Let the old world fall, not in fire, but in wisdom. Let the new world rise, not from prophecy, but from purpose. And if this message moved you, if it lit even a single spark, pass it on. Click the like button. It tells the algorithm that stories like this matter. Leave a comment. Tell us how you imagine the rebirth. And if you haven't subscribed yet, welcome. This channel is more than content. It's a constellation of minds reaching forward, one myth at a time, one truth at a time, one future, still waiting to be written. We're not done yet. We're just getting started.